Haiti erupted in joy today with the news that Jean-Claude Duvalier, Baby Doc, was gone. He called himself president for life, but Duvalier left Haiti in the dark of early morning. The president, his wife, mother, and security guards fled to a waiting U.S. Air Force jet. Truckloads of luggage were brought to the jet, and Duvalier was gone. A jubilant crowd outside Haiti, at least for a day, had thrown off almost 29 years of Duvalier family oppression and terror.
Okay. Shit, what? I'm so weird. Let's go. And before I start off, you should know Nicki Minaj is my idol, so you're gonna see a lot of cute. And I'm 100% Haitian, as you may know. So if you have not liked, subscribe, boo boo. What is you waiting for? We're here. So let me pinch my hair up, and we're gonna talk about bad bitches in history. To
promote herself as a champion of the poor and to solicit contributions for her Michele Bennett Duvalier Foundation. Every day, the elegant First Lady was featured in scenes like this, launching vaccination campaigns, touring hospitals.
So, Michele Bennett Duvalier was born January 15th, 1950 in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Daughter of Aurora and Ernestine Bennett. Ernestine Bennett was a Haitian businessman which was descended of King Henry. So he had royal within in his blood. And just to let you know, Haiti is one of the countries Christopher Columbus been to Haiti. There's a lot of kings and queens from past then descended in Haiti. So a lot of Haitians are walking around with royal blood, they like to say, because that was the island everybody was at, okay? So before you think Haiti is like the poorest country and all that stuff, no one ever sheds light on these things. Her father owned several land growing like coffee and sugar. So at 15, Bennett moves to New York, which a lot of Haitians move to New York. I'm from New York originally, so she attends school at St. Mary's. So she finished schools in Perkins. She worked as a secretary in a slipper company in the garment district. That story sounds so familiar. I'm telling you, that's like the story a lot of people been through. Like Haitians, that's what we're known for. We go to New York and we work these jobs. Like there's a lot of Haitians in New York. So in 1975, she gets married. She gets married to Alex Pesquet Jr. I don't really know how to say his last name, Alex Pesquet Jr. He was son of Captain Alex Pesquet, a well-known mulatto officer. And the story's about to get real crazy. So the guy that she marries, Alex II, his father was the Turkey airman which led the fight against Duvalier. But she hasn't met Jean-Claude Duvalier. She didn't do none of that yet. So let's continue. Michele gets married to him and she has 2 children, which is the third, I would say now, because yeah, that's the third, and Sasha. In 1978, Michele divorces him. Alright, so she divorces her husband, which is now her ex-husband, and she ends up getting a job. She goes back to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and gets a job in a career in public relations at Rehabilitation Le Coeur, which was an upscale hotel in Port-au-Prince. And that was the time Haiti had tourism like crazy. Like everybody wanted to be in Haiti. She's a single woman, she has 2 children, and she's working her butt off. But she's always been inside that elite mulatto. So let me cut the story off and explain to you. The way Haiti works is it has this thing where the mulattoes are on top of everybody. The upper class is usually light skin, nice hair. It's like the slave mentality. They just kept it. So she, of a lighter skinned woman, she was part of the mulattoes. So she always had it made for her. So she met Jean-Claude Duvalier back in high school. So 10 years later, she, I guess, reconnects with him. He falls in love with her, because one thing about Michele, she could make you fall in love. She was that, like, how do you say it, that bitch? So he asked her to marry him. Mind you, she's a woman with 2 children. And at that time, a lot of people were like, why would you... She's a woman. She has 2 children. She's been married already. Like, still went against the odds and he married her. Kudos to him for thinking outside the box. All right, so in June 1980, this woman had like the biggest wedding any Caribbean island has really ever seen.
June 5th, 1980, and the ceremony so lavish that the Guinness Book of Records lists it as one of the 3 most expensive weddings. Haiti's 28-year-old president for life, Claude Duvalier, marries Michele Bennett, a divorcee and mother of 2. If it looked to the world like a grotesque demonstration of extravagance in the poorest country in the hemisphere, to those Haitians watching on television, it was enchanting. A storybook wedding of a king and a queen. They liked her, they liked the queen, they went to the queen, they had a queen.
It was known that her wedding cost $2 to $5 million. $2 to $5 million. $2 to $5 million. Mind you, that was in the 1980s. It was not like in today's time where that's normally done. $1 million was a lot of money. And mind you, that's when Haiti was collapsing. A lot of people, the poor was suffering, but she did not care. I don't know why. This woman intrigues me. Like, the florals was flown in from Miami and the who's who's of the world clearly attended. So it was known that her wedding was displayed. She had television installed throughout the streets of Haiti so everyone could watch her wedding. And now I'm thinking, like, me being in other people's, putting myself in other people's shoes, just sit there, you think to yourself, somebody's thinking of how they're gonna feed their kids. You're having this lavish wedding, like you're having these people view your wedding. They're like, if you did not sit to watch that wedding when it was happening, tonton macoute, they would call them, they would grab you and you would be thrown in prison for just not watching her wedding. That's the beginning of her craziness. Like, her first order as the first lady is to kick Jean-Claude's mother, sister, family, which has known to be like, I think, what, 98 of them living in the palace. She orders for them to get out. They kicked them out, and some of them clearly fought back, and she ordered for them to be executed. Execution. Like, she's not even the first lady for like a couple of hours, and that's her first order. Haiti had a military called Tonton Macoute.
The Duvaliers never trusted the army. It had overthrown too many previous dictators. That's why they created the legendary Tonton Macoute, the armed thugs who ruled the countryside and secured the dynasty of the Duvaliers. The formula? Keep the rich Haitians happy, the poor Haitians terrified, and the United States appeased.
Did not play. Like, if he ordered for you to be killed, Tonton Macoute would start knocking at your door. You're about to be executed. All right, so one thing about Michele Bennett Duvalier is she understood the process of show business. So basically what she had done, she had television installed throughout the streets to display her vision that has bars around it, so you couldn't steal the television or anything, and it would display her work. It would show you her.
Across the country on TVs, which the First Lady had installed to show her good works.
Because she was like Kim Kardashian, but Kim Kardashian as like the First Lady. Imagine that. Imagine that. And she had power. What she was good at is showing how much of an amazing work she's doing. Like, she's feeding the poor, she's giving clothes to the poor, she's with the poor, but behind closed doors she was a wicked, crazy woman, and she was running the country dry. Haiti is now literally the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and you have this first lady who's just running rapid. Like, her husband cannot tell her what to do. She's the queen of the queens. She gets whatever she wants. It's like, it's one of those situations. Michele's father, Ernestine, he took full advantage of his presidential connection. So he opens a BMW dealership, and he is the head of the import and export world. So basically, if he says like, you can't do anything, you're screwed business-wise. And her brother is exporting goods too. The brother gets arrested in Puerto Rico for basically trafficking drugs. And he is using Air Haiti, the airline for Haiti at the time. So imagine that. You gain First Lady, your brother is exporting and importing drugs with an airline known to men as Air Haiti. Like, this woman and her family just took full advantage the wrong way. So now Haiti is at a standby where like the mulattoes are running the nation. So Michelle gets pregnant and she has Nicholas and Anya. She has her third and fourth child by Duvalier. So now Duvalier has an heir to the throne because you know he's like president for life, which is Nicholas, his firstborn son. Because she had kids before, but she didn't have his kids. This is when she really has power because now she's like the first lady. She has a child for him. She secured her position. All right, so after she gives birth to her child, she's back to 100%. Mother Teresa visits Haiti. Mother Teresa out of everyone, right?
And I have never seen the French people being so familiar with their ancestors as they were with her.
So Michelle goes, she does her thing, she shows she's amazing. The country of Haiti is standing. Haiti's doing way better because she's here. She's kissing everyone. And Mother Teresa says, which is noted, that she has never, she has never seen the poor people familiarize themselves with such a, like, first lady. Like, because Michelle is such an amazing first lady. Oh. And she's just like, oh my God, look what Mother Teresa says about me. I am such an amazing first lady. Mind you, I'm spending millions of dollars instead of actually feeding the people who needs it and all that good stuff. And she's like gloriously being the first lady of Haiti, Mother Teresa Lee. Things get out of control. People are being murdered for no reason. Tonton Makut, she's assigning things like if you or somebody she did not like, you pissed her off in like first grade, she would send like Tonton Makut to kill your family, you, anybody you've known. She's running Haiti like democracy at its finest. It was a time in Haiti where you could not walk barefoot. She didn't like that. And if she found you walking barefoot in the street, guess what would happen to you? You would be thrown in prison. Baby Doc was one of those men that just, he didn't have a say. He wasn't fit for the position. He was given the position, but his wife, she knew what she was doing. So the Pope visits Haiti. That's when things take a left. The Pope visits Haiti, but you can't fool the Pope because the Pope is one of those people, he goes to the people.
And Michelle.
The Pope was going beyond the Duvaliers, standing side by side with the abject poverty. Things have got to change.
The Pope clearly sees how the people are suffering because it was bad. It was the worst Haiti has ever been before slavery and getting independence and everything. So the Pope expresses how he's not satisfied, he's not happy, the country's getting poorer, the people of the country is not happy. So what the Duvaliers does, they cut tax on everything 10% to show how glorious they are. They're like, oh my God, we're so amazing. We're gonna bring the country back to being amazing. After the Pope went to Haiti, things got a little bit better because they realized the Pope's been there, the Duvaliers, and the world is watching. People are now taking notes of the shit that's happening, how you're overtaxing the poor, you're mistreating the poor, you're not taking care of the country. Haiti's a mess, the worst it has been in ever. Like the baby Doc, the father, made it horrible, but they were just done with it. Oh my God. So after it got better, it's like it climbed, it got a little better, and then boom, it got horrible. The people have had enough. And this is what happened. So Michele Bennett went to Paris on a shopping spree. she purchased over $1 million worth of material goods while the poor people can't even eat. Imagine working, you're not getting paid, you're overworked for the first lady of a nation to go to Paris on $1 million shopping spree. After she finished shopping for $1 million, it gets even better. She goes to the treasurer, the country's treasurer, and she asks for another $1 million. Another $1 million, like $2 million. She buys all of this stuff from Givenchy, Versace, like you name it, the name brands, she had it. She finished doing all of that. She comes back to Haiti to express how of amazing trip she's had shopping abroad. Like, and the crazy part about it, remember she installed television all throughout the street? Remember she did that because she was really into show business? So she literally showed people that she went abroad to Paris, shopped for over $2 million, came back with the stuff. Imagine watching that and you're hungry, you're starving, you're overworked, you don't know how you're gonna feed your child. This is like the worst. And one thing about the people of Haiti, I'll tell you this much. They'll take a lot of shit. They will. But the minute they're done taking your shit, you could piss off anybody, but don't piss off a Haitian. So after like the people of Haiti just witnessed her do this, she comes back to Haiti and it gets crazier. She orders for them to build inside the palace a freezer room because, mind you, she went to Paris to purchase fur coats. So she has a lot of coats that are fur and all that good stuff. And Haiti's a tropical island. Like, it's like wild. Like, as a first lady, shame on you. Like, your people come first. Like, kids being fed. These things come first. So after she does all these things, comes back, they built her portable freezer inside the palace so she could walk around with her friends and wear her fur coats. The story gets even crazier. She decides to have this big party for charity for Haiti and charges everyone $500 per plate.
Haiti had never seen anything like it. Ministers' wives dressed in Parisian gowns, a jeweler flown in from Paris to present a $30,000 necklace as a door prize.
I watched this and I said to myself, I wonder how they never understood over television national, the government television.
And invites the world's biggest leaders, her friends, and mind you, she's a first lady, so she's inviting other countries such as Gabon, France, you name it, Canada, the US, and all of these other countries. The first lady, she charges everyone $500 because it's charity for Haiti. This lady was crazy, yo. She was crazy. I can't even like who does that? The audacity. I can't even say the audacity. You finish shopping in Paris for $2 million. You come back and because you're thinking of the people of Haiti, you have a dinner party and charges everyone $500. And in this dinner party, it was the caput of the caput. It was known at the party they served the most expensive champagne in the world. I mean, Haiti has never seen anything like it. Like, the who's was there. There were doctors all over the world's wide, dressed in Peruvian gown. The jewelers flown from Paris. It was a wild night for her. It was known she gave away $30,000 necklaces as souvenirs. Like, that's even better because when you think about it, like, you pay $500 to go to a party for a charity and you get $30,000 necklaces when you leave. Like, it was just like, wow. Like, I can't stop saying the audacity. And mind you, the people of Haiti are watching this in this TV that she had installed in the streets. Like, I I have to pray for the people of Haiti because they've been through so much shit. Like, and at that time she threw this big party. You have to keep in mind, Haiti is going through its worst crisis. There's no gas, there's food shortages, people are dying, people are being tortured. Like, this couple, this family, this era of time put a stamp on Haiti that till this day, and we are in 2021, Haiti is still suffering. Like, you have to think the history of Haiti. Haiti came out of paying France back for gaining independence and being world's first black independent nation. And then they get to this freaking crazy ass family. I don't know how they become president for life. And this is how things are going. And one thing about the people of Haiti is when they're tired, my nigga, they are tired. All right, so after a while, a lot of Haitians got visas to come to the United States, Canada, and all that good stuff. And they were fleeing Haiti because it got to the point there's no way they could stay. They would get on boats, get to America, beg to stay. That's how a lot of Haitians end up migrating into America. When they get to America, they start explaining the process of what they've been through in Haiti. And that's when America and a lot of the countries such as Canada, they're like, what is happening? Like, because when you hear about Haiti at that time, it was just like galore. Like, they're the world's first black independent nations. They do crops such as sugar, coffee, rice. Like, and then the Haitians are explaining like, no, we're growing these crops and importing them to you guys, but we're not getting paid. Because you have to remember, Michele Bennett's father was the one, you know, the leader of the business, and he wasn't paying them. And they're explaining like, I would work those hours, never get paid. My kids, I can't feed my kids. My kids can't go to school. They're torturing people. They hang, they kill, they bury you alive. Some people, they put them inside this thing called pilon. They put them inside of it and they stomp them alive. Like, and now it's like America, Canada, France are getting a hold of what is happening in Haiti. So now, the Duvalier family, you've got some answering to do. This is bright, child. I look like a clown now. Hey, look at the lips and the Haiti was always a country very close to America. There's always been a lot of Haitians in America. So the Haitians in America are asking for help for their families in Haiti. So they're about to have a little friend come and visit them. So it is heard that the Duvaliers are planning to leave Haiti. It is heard. When they're not sure, because remember they were president for life. Alright, so at that point, the people of Haiti are tired. So I guess one day, you know Haitians, when we're tired, it's a whole different story. We will roar. They got up and they just said, we're taking power. Fuck your president for life bullshit. We are the people. You're here for us. We're not happy and we're gonna do something about it. And a lot of Haitians decided, like, even if I died, oh well, I'm gonna die knowing I did something. They entered the field. They were going straight after the mulattoes. Like, if you were a mulatto, you about to deal with these people. So what happened was, they found one Totomakut, they burned him out alive. They put him on this ledge, like hanger thingy, and they roam around Haiti with him. Just to let them know, like, the Duvaliers, game over. Now you about to like deal with me. They went from house to house, went to the rich neighborhoods, started burning out shit. A lot of the mulattoes at that time had to flee Haiti. They were begging America, like, asylum, like, please take us, they're gonna kill us. Which, it's wrong, I would say, but you have to also think, you also got by doing shit that was not right. I don't care if you were not a racist, what they would say, mulatto. You saw things were happening that wasn't right, and you saw you were on the better half due to the skin tone or the color of your skin, and you were okay with it. So at that moment, Let's do this. The people of Haiti roar, darling. They roar. It was a time where they respected the presidency, so they didn't go all the way out and kill Jean-Claude. Well, if it was in today's day, today's Haitians are a different type of group of Haitians. We ain't got no manners. We don't give no fucks. Today's Haitians would have walked inside that White House and said, get the fuck out. But at that time, they had manners. They gave them time. So it was known that the Duvaliers went and they asked the country of Gabon, Switzerland, Mexico, any country that would take them for asylum, they would go to. And a lot of those countries turned them down. But France, which we know would never turn them down because they did the work France have been trying to do to Haiti. Like, duh. So France let them in with temporary. Mind you, they're still in France till this day. Asylum. Before they leave, because what the Duvaliers did was not enough for Haiti, the people of Haiti still needed to be suffering from their bullshit. They steal over $800 million from Haiti's treasury. Hey, and they leave. Like, people are looking like, what happened to that money? They took it. They took the money.
In Miami, Haitians danced. In Boston, they trashed their consulate, all to celebrate the downfall of the Duvaliers.
When they get to France, their house is raided because they have to take them so they could punish them for what they've done to Haiti. They were dictators. And Michele Bennett, the story gets even crazier. Her recent purchases, she's trying to flush down the toilet, is $168,000 from Givenchy. $270 from jewelry and $9,000 from Hermes for 2 horses, children, cradles. So, and Jean-Claude Duvalier apologized after years of being in France. He came back to Haiti. He apologized to the people of Haiti for all his doings, him and his family is doing. And in 2014, he passed away and they held his funeral and his homeland, which he really wanted it to be held in Haiti. So that's the last you've heard of the Duvalier. Michele Bennett is still alive, probably somewhere in France, and I hope one day, if you ever watch this, Michele Bennett, contact me, girl, because I really want to meet you. I want to talk to you. Like, girl. And hopefully you too apologize to the people of Haiti because they really need it. And God bless. But God bless Haiti. And the people of Haiti, I love you more than anything in the world. I am 100% Haitian and I'm going to be 100% Haitian till the day I die.